this guy's fault right here. Eh? Somehow we're in the middle of Dallas. Broken airplanes everywhere. Because Gabe wanted his barbecue. So, over the last 3 months, I've been working diligently on getting my instrument rating. And while I've got some great instruction and I've built a lot of time, I still have only got about 20 hours, 23 hours of simulated instrument time. And I've become a little frustrated with how long it was taking to get my simulated instrument time. So I concocted a plan to fly to Dallas, which is about 5 hours or 530 miles, under simulated instrument the entire time. Now this qualifies for your simulated instrument time. And so I flight planned a trip down to Dallas, and I called my good friend Gabe, who's also a flight instructor, to be my safety pilot. He obliged, and we were able to fly down to Dallas and back in a day. Now I got about 10 hours of simulated instrument time, and I want to share some of the highlights of this crazy trip that we took down to Dallas, flight through the Class Bravo airspace, and into one of the smallest airports that I've ever been to. So I flight planned down to Coffee County, Missouri for our first fuel stop. 1.8 and 3.6 both had RNAV options, and it was a 5,500 foot runway, so it gave us a lot of options, a really long runway, and they had good fuel prices. After that, I had flight planned down to KTKI, which is McKinney National in northeast Dallas. I've flown into this airport before. I know it's very, very nice. It's a Class Delta airspace, and we're going to be able to do a nice instrument approach into this airport. Just as we're getting to Dallas, my friend Gabe decided that he wanted a specific kind of barbecue, and he said, yeah, are you married to McKinney? I said, no, we can find a different one. So we found Foxtrot 69, and we picked up the Notems from Flight Service. Air Park Dallas is a 30-foot wide, 3,000-foot long runway. Plenty long, but extremely narrow runway in the heart of Dallas. I did not have access to these comments while we were flying because I didn't have internet connection. And as you can see here, some of the comments say, don't land here, no fuel, no FBO, this is just an air park. Had I known that, we might have had a less interesting day. But we did end up landing at Foxtrot 69. We were cleared through the Class Bravo airspace, and it was quite an adventure. It is about 6:10 a.m. and outside air temperature is -6 degrees. Overall, the day looks like it's going to be great for a flight down to Dallas. Fuel stop weather looks good, local weather looks good, and weather in Dallas is calling for VFR with a scattered layer at 2,000 upon arrival. About an hour after departure, it's showing a cloud layer broken 5,000, which really isn't a problem, but we're going to have to maybe stay low and fight some headwinds out of Dallas before we can climb up and get out of the northerly winter winds. But we're on our way, and it should be a great day.
Automated weather observation 1307 Zulu. Wind 290 at 6 knots.
You remember where the heat is over here? So
Oh,
let
yeah.
you play with that.
I believe they're both fully on. Now, when I told her I was going to Dallas, she's like, okay, don't die. Let me know where you're at.
Ankeny traffic arrow 40967, departing 36, Ankeny. Alright, fuel pumps on, mixture's full rich, props full forward, and we're on the right tank. Airspeed's alive. Somebody approach arrow 40967, with request.
Arrow 40967 on my approach.
Somebody approach arrow 967 is 2,300, like to transition, just off of Ankeny, like to transition to the southwest.
Arrow 967, squawk 0320.
I had accidentally put the camera in time-lapse mode. We had just shot the RNAV 1.8 and I was circling to land 3.6 at Coffee County. The flight went very smoothly, and upon arrival, Coffee County called us on the radio and asked us if we needed anything. They were super accommodating, fuel prices were great. It's a small little airport, but super friendly, and they had a great airport dog. Highly recommend stopping if you get a chance.
We're on the right tank, so fuel pump comes on, mixture full rich, props full forward. Coffee County traffic, Aero 40967, departing 18, Coffee County.
The bird, yeah, you're above him.
Okay. My gear's coming up.
All right, where are we headed?
Oh yeah, we should put that in there. We are going to KTKI, Kilo, Tango, Kilo, India.
Pretty disappointed as my camera was still on time-lapse mode, but the rest of the 350-mile flight went pretty smoothly. As we got closer to Dallas, it became clear that Gabe wanted to go to Hard 8 Barbecue, and the closest airport was Foxtrot 69. We got cleared into the Bravo and then into Foxtrot 69. We got all of the NOTAMs from flight service and arrived pretty uneventfully. Crosswind at 19 knots on a 30-foot runway was a little hairy, but we got the aero down just fine. The problem was there was no FBO and there was no fuel, as ForeFlight had said there would be. So we taxied around and tried to find anybody to no avail. This is all this guy's fault right here. Somehow we're in the middle of Dallas. Broken airplanes everywhere. Because Gabe wanted his barbecue. So here we are. Being in the heart of Dallas, it was pretty easy to pick up an Uber to the Plano Hard 8's Barbecue, where they sell meat by the pound in a market-style setting. The barbecue was delicious and well worth the somewhat unique experience to get it. A short trip and a very curious Uber driver later, we were back on the airfield and ready to depart. We grabbed the weather and the NOTAMs and we headed off to Sherman, Texas for some cheap fuel. At this point, I'd been under the foggles for about 6 hours with the short hour-long lunch break, and everything was going very, very smoothly. We were flying back to Coffee County for more fuel because they did such a great job, and I went ahead and shot the RNAV 3.6 into Coffee County. That landing went smooth, everything went well. The last leg of the flight was a 225-mile leg back home through Des Moines Class Charlie airspace with a planned ILS 3.6 approach into the Ankeny Airport. After fuel and a cup of coffee, we were off again and headed back home.
Cherokee 967, 6 miles from Robin, fly present heading, maintain VFR till established on localizer, cleared ILS, runway 36 approach Ankeny Airport.
Maintain VFR, cleared ILS, 36, Ankeny.
Watch your heading. Heading. Alright, what's your minimums?
1090.
Alright, watch your heading. Start flying this.
Okay, I am.
You're pretty far off, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I should point out, at this point, we had both been in a very small airplane for a very long time, and we both were very ready to get out of the airplane. Looking at the FlightAware track log, you can see I was slightly off to the right.
Like, low enough that... Alright, go visual. You got back. We were about, I don't know, 300 yards to the right.
Were we?
Yeah.
Thanks for getting the lights on.
The touchdown and landing were smooth, and we had a great time. I am tremendously indebted to Gabe for coming along on this crazy adventure with me, and we had a really good time. I learned so much from him and just from the experience overall. I was definitely ready to take the foggles off, get out, and stretch my legs. It was a long day, but it was a well worth it day, and I'm glad we were able to do it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, please consider liking and subscribing. We really appreciate it. It means so much if you would do that, and it's free. Thanks for watching.